Welcome to Whisper of Haunted Waves. Welcome, ghost hunters and history buffs, to a place where the past refuses to die. Today, we're journeying into the heart of one of America's most haunted locations, Eastern State Penitentiary. This isn't just an old prison, it's a Gothic fortress of solitude and suffering, and its long-abandoned cell blocks are said to be teeming with restless spirits. So, dim the lights, and let's unlock the gates to the paranormal. Opened in 1829 in Philadelphia, Eastern State was revolutionary. It was the world's first true penitentiary, designed to inspire genuine regret, or penitence, in the hearts of its inmates. The method: solitary confinement. Imagine spending 23 hours a day, every day, in a cold stone cell with only a Bible for company. No human contact, no visitors, not even a guard's face to see. This system, known as the Pennsylvania system, was meant to reform, but for many, it became a brutal form of psychological torment, driving them to madness. The silence was so profound, inmates claimed they could hear the whispers of their own souls, or perhaps something else entirely. It's this intense, concentrated suffering that many believe has supercharged the building with paranormal energy. From the moment you step inside, the atmosphere is heavy. The air is thick with the weight of history and sorrow. Visitors and staff have reported a chilling catalogue of supernatural experiences for decades. Let's start with the most infamous area, Cell Block 12. This block is notorious for its disembodied laughter. Imagine walking down this long, decaying corridor, the only sound being the crunch of debris under your feet. And then suddenly, a cold, cackling laugh echoes from an empty cell. Many believe this is the spirit of a former inmate who lost his mind within these walls. Investigators have captured EVP's electronic voice phenomena of this laughter, a chilling remnant of a soul trapped in eternal amusement. Then there's the watchtower. From this vantage point, guards once surveyed the prison grounds, their eyes scanning for any sign of trouble. Today, it's the guards who are being watched. Staff members locking up for the night often report seeing a shadowy figure standing silhouetted in the tower, a spectral sentinel still on duty. This system, known as the Pennsylvania system, was meant to reform, but for many, a long-dead guard, forever bound to his post, unable to leave the prison he once patrolled. It's a spine-tingling thought. Let's move to Cell Block 4. This is where things get even more active. People frequently report seeing shadowy figures darting down the corridor, moving from cell to cell. They appear as dark, human-shaped masses, moving with an unnatural speed before vanishing into the stone walls. It's as if the shadows themselves have come to life, replaying the desperate movements of prisoners from a bygone era. Some visitors even feel an icy touch on their shoulder, or the unnerving sensation of being followed, only to turn around and find nothing but empty space. One of the most compelling stories comes from a locksmith named Gary Johnson. In the 1990s, he was working to remove an old lock from a cell door in Cell Block 4. As he struggled with the rusted mechanism, he said he felt a massive, negative force overcome him. He described it as a vortex of energy, filled with tormented faces and whispers, pulling him back. He was so terrified that he fled and refused to ever re-enter that part of the prison. What dark entity did he disturb? What consciousness remains attached to that very spot? And we can't forget the prison's most famous inmate, Al Capone. The notorious gangster spent 8 months here in 1929. But his cell wasn't like the others. It was lavishly decorated with fine rugs, a desk, and a radio. Even in solitary, Capone lived in relative luxury. Yet, it's said that even he wasn't truly alone. Legend has it that Capone was tormented by the ghost of James Clark, one of the men he had killed in the St. Valentine's Day massacre. Capone would reportedly scream in the night, begging Jimmy to leave him alone. Today, visitors to his restored cell often report hearing faint whispers or feeling a sudden, inexplicable sense of dread. Is Jimmy Clark still seeking his revenge from beyond the grave? The infirmary is another hotspot of paranormal activity. This was a place of both healing and death. Disease was rampant, and medical treatments were often primitive and brutal. The operating room, with its antique surgical chair, is particularly unsettling. People have reported hearing moans of pain, the clang of unseen medical instruments, and even seeing a ghostly figure of a nurse or doctor making their eternal rounds. The energy here is heavy with the memory of suffering, a place where the final moments of many inmates are permanently imprinted. But perhaps the most terrifying part of Eastern State is the hole. This was the punishment area, a series of underground cells where inmates who broke the rules were sent. It was pitch black, damp, and infested with rats. Prisoners were given little food and water and were left in total sensory deprivation. It's here that the negative energy is at its most concentrated. Visitors who dare to enter the whole report being grabbed by unseen hands, hearing blood-curdling screams, and feeling an overwhelming sense of hopelessness and despair. It's as if the agony of those who are punished here has seeped into the very foundations of the earth. What makes Eastern State so compelling is the sheer volume and consistency of the reports. From tour guides to paranormal investigators to everyday visitors, the stories are remarkably similar. Shadowy figures, disembodied voices, phantom footsteps, and an oppressive feeling of being watched. Are these just tricks of the light and mind, products of a spooky environment? Or are the thousands of souls who lived and died within these walls truly still here, forever trapped in their stone and iron purgatory? The prison is now a museum and a historical site, welcoming thousands of visitors each year. Many come for the history, but just as many come hoping for a brush with the supernatural. The institution that once enforced absolute silence now echoes with the voices of the living calling out to the dead. Eastern State Penitentiary stands as a monument to a failed experiment in justice, but it also serves as a chilling reminder that some places hold on to the past with a terrifying grip. The pain, the madness, and the despair of its former residents seem to have created a permanent stain on time itself. So, if you ever find yourself walking its crumbling cell blocks, listen closely. You might hear more than just the wind whistling through the broken skylights. You might just hear the ghosts of Eastern State Penitentiary. Thanks so much for joining me on this ghostly tour. What do you think? Are these stories real, or is it all in our heads? Let me know your own theories and experiences in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the dark, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more explorations of the world's most haunted places. Stay curious and stay safe.